welcome to my reading vlog or reading series. I don't know what I'm gonna call these videos yet, but I read in them. I was initially gonna read The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, but I opened it and there was a picture of the lake and it spooked me a little bit, and I was like, I'm too scared to read this right now. So I picked a different book instead. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I don't know why I love books where people like get out of relationships or like are just young and in their 20s and just trying to figure their life out, and then like eventually they do. That's just my favorite type of book to read, maybe because that's how I feel in real life. This one was it was going around TikTok, for at least on my TikTok, and I heard a lot of really good things about it. There's actually people that I follow on Instagram, like from back in high school, that put up literally their own book review about this book and actually said it was very, very good. So I'm very curious and I want to see. Also, I'm in between Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight right now, and I wanted something that I could just read fairly quickly, and I think that this is that book that I'll get through it quickly. Look at the text. Like, I could get through that pretty fast, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna chill out here. It's finally warm enough to like sit outside, so I'm gonna do that and enjoy it just before it becomes like 110 degrees every day in like 2 months. I am thoroughly enjoying myself reading this. It's been a couple days. I am really enjoying this book. I really started getting into it on the chapter called Being a Bit Fat, Being a Bit Thin. And just from then on, I've just been like loving this book. I'm on page 164. I don't know. I just like it because the style of the writing is very much as if you like sat down and are just speaking to the author and she's just like telling you her life story. It very much feels like she's just sitting down and having a conversation with you, and I think that makes it, one, very easy to read, but also like it makes you want to listen. This book, for once, it's making me want to highlight stuff. Like, I want to go and highlight, but I'm scared. I've never actually highlighted a physical copy of any of my books, so I don't know. So, which brings me to my point right now. I'm going to Barnes & Noble because I'm not going to buy anything, okay? But I think I'm just going to sit in the cafe and read because I've been home all day and I want to read, but I'm sick of being home. So, I'll probably go do that and see how far I can get and see if I can finish the book because I'm halfway there, but I don't know. I feel like I can get it done soon. I finished. Guys, it was so good. It was so good. The synopsis, it says, wildly funny, occasionally heartbreaking. So true. It's about growing up, growing older, and learning to navigate friendships, jobs, loss, and romance along the way. That is exactly what this book is. It covers body image, kind of eating disorders. It deals with just girlhood in general. It deals with romance and boys and breakup and realizing you deserve a better type of love from men and or a significant other. It's just about loss. It's about losing loved ones and growing up and having issues with your friends because you feel like you're growing apart from them. Like, it just literally covered what it's like to grow up, to realize that you're an adult, to realize that, yeah, you're still really young, but you are a grown-up, and that means that things are changing. I had a rough past 8 months, okay guys, and this book literally felt like it was like, me too, Caitlin. I started highlighting stuff. That's how good this book was. My initial rating right before or right after I finished it was to give it a 4.5. I'm really reluctant to give it a 5 just because 5-star rating books, like, they gotta be 5s, you know what I mean? So I think what will determine whether or not this is a 5-star book is if I continue to think about this book for a while. I just realized I didn't plug in my microphone. I'm sorry if the audio changed from the first clip. Anyway, so this book related to it greatly, and it put me in the mood for this book, What My Mother and I Don't Talk About. This is essentially a collection of stories from 15 different writers who, I guess, just talk about and tell us stories of them and their moms. I've had this book for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, just sitting on my shelf. When I bought this, I was just starting to learn what I like to read, so my actual reading style kind of drifted from this a little bit. But after reading Everything I Know About Love, I'm kind of in the mood to I don't know, relate to something again. I think I can finish this in a couple days, so we'll see. I'll let you know if I ended up finishing it. So I didn't read that book like I knew I wasn't going to. I could have read it, but my brain, after finishing the last book before I left, I wanted to soak in it. What I did end up reading after was this novella called Nothing But the Rain. It's only like 94 pages, but I actually really, really enjoyed it. It is about this older woman who lives in this city where the rain causes people to lose their memories, and it rains all the time. It's written kind of like journal entries, even though she says specifically that it's not a journal or a diary, but then it becomes so much more. I was just reading and reading and reading, and then I flipped to the next page and it was done. And I was just like, that's it? What the heck? It really felt like the first chapters of a bigger dystopian series. You do get hints that the rain and them being stuck in their city is all part of some bigger, greater plan, but you literally don't get any answers. I don't think that's a spoiler, but it just starts to get so interesting, and the world itself is so interesting, and then that's it. I wish there was more, but also it ending at that time the way it does is perfect. I also wasn't really expecting it at all, but it also got slightly philosophical and talked about truth and the idea that there is no truth, only what we think to be true, only what we remember. I enjoyed this thoroughly. I read this with my friend Kennedy. Shout out Kennedy. I have to give this a 4.5. It was really good. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. What I am actually gonna read next is Crown of Midnight, but after Crown of Midnight I have to read something else. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. It'll probably be Red Rising, unless it's Ninth House, because I bought that yesterday. But we'll see. I'll let you know in 3, 2, 1. I know. Hello. I have the urge to be like, long time no see, because I literally have not actually filmed in a while, but I feel it's the same video. So you guys, what, Milo? What do you want to say to the video? Lately, I've been reading Beautiful Creatures, and I don't know, lately I just wanted to read it. That's just how it is, and I'm not regretting it at all. I've been loving it so much. I've been reading it on my Kindle, my stickers, and I'm currently on page 441 out of 564, so I'm so close. I have 120 pages left. I've enjoyed it so far. I have not, no notes. If anything, this is probably one of the first books that I'm reading and I'm actually noticing the writing, and but it's just so long. I'm not cut out for this. That's why I'm not a fan. I'll read fantasy, but this is why I'm not a fantasy reader, because I can't be in one world for longer than 400 pages. I'm sorry. After that, I start getting antsy and I need to finish it and move on to the next world. But that doesn't mean it's not good. I want it to be concluded. So I have lunch or dinner at 6:30ish, and right now it's 4:07. So the goal is to finish the book before I go to dinner. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but we're gonna try. Finally finished Beautiful Creatures. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give it, I don't know, maybe a 4.5. It was really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. My only note is that it was very, very long. I had a lot of fun reading it, first of all. I think it was also just a little bit of bias because I loved the movie growing up. What reading the book has taught me about the movie is that the movie is not correct. The movie pisses me off because a lot of the stuff was left out or changed or just portrayed just completely incorrectly. Ridley's character, she's supposed to be blonde with pink streaks and be the type to wear a mini skirt and crop top to school and whatever, and in the movie I think
That she doesn't look like that at all. So I don't know, maybe I have to rewatch the movie. Maybe I'll watch the movie and it'll change my opinion on the movie. Anyway, but it's not about the movie, it's about the book. The book was very long. It was good in the beginning because I enjoyed the plot that they were setting up. I was like the Twilight type plot where it's like small town, person that doesn't really fit in, new kid, they're kind of weird, but for some reason I get along with them, you know what I mean. And that part was really fun to read. I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed him slowly figuring out about her being a caster and all that stuff. But then in the middle it started feeling really heavy, or not heavy, slow, just because of the length of the book, not because the book itself was slow, because literally stuff was always happening. But I think it's because you kind of learned everything about the cast, not everything, but you learned a lot about the caster world enough that you needed to. I don't know, so that part kind of stopped, but then that's around the part where like all the romance started acting up. The scene where he officially asks her to be his girlfriend, like that scene's so adorable. I love the fact that they can like read each other's minds. It's so cute. Like some of my favorite bits of romance are them speaking to each other telepathically, and I think it's so adorable. But yeah, see, stuff like that, like I was getting kind of over it, and then all the romance started happening and like being more prominent in the plot, and then the ending, a cliffhanger, but kind of just like, bruh, all this for what? But based on the way I'm speaking about it now, I think I am gonna have to give it a 4.5. I might be a little bit biased because I was just really, really excited to read this book in general. Great vibes. If it was a little bit shorter, I think I would have gotten through it easier. But I also don't really know what could even be shortened about the book. Like, it needs to be this length. I'm just a weenie and I can't read anything longer than like 400 pages. With that being said, let's go on to the next book I'm gonna read, which is called This Is How You Lose the Time War. It's obviously about a war revolving around like time travel in a world where time travel is a thing. And that's all I know. And the characters' names I think are blue and red. So I don't know, it just sounds really interesting. Ever since reading Nothing But the Rain, I started feeling like I was in the mood for more like dystopian, kind of apocalyptic kind of vibes. I think this is perfect for what I wanted, and it sounds very interesting, even though I probably did really bad at even though I probably did a really bad job of summing it up. I think I can get through it pretty fast. It's not even 200 pages. But yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait. I'll let you know how it is. I finished. It took me exactly 1 month to read this book. I started it on June 1st. I finished it on July 1st, yesterday. And I think I personally rate it a 4.5. But the thing about this book is that I was reading it and I was like, I don't know if I'm liking this. But when I think back to the book, there's a lot of things that I like about it. So like, I do like it. It's hard to explain. It's very well written, but it's the type of writing where you have to be very attentive and like kind of use a little bit more brain power than if you were reading like, I don't know, just like another like a simple like rom-com or something. But the writing is so beautiful and lyrical and like poetic. It's just, I don't really know how to explain it, but like you read it and you're like, like this is literature. There's basically really only 2 characters, and it's red and blue, and you just end up rooting for them. And essentially the whole time they're just writing letters to each other and they slowly fall in love, and that's like the best thing ever. Like I feel like that's it, like you're rooting for them. And I think that's why I ultimately liked it, because I ultimately did actually care about the characters. I did actually care about what happened to them and where they end up. And then there's a review on the back, or was one review. Readers will reach the end and want to turn back to the start. That's literally how I felt. I finished it and I was like, I feel like I need to read it again. Like I just want to see, like I want to see how I would like it, knowing what I'm getting into, because I feel like I was not expecting this to be what it was at all, but in a good way. I ultimately ended up enjoying it. And I think I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. I think that was like 4 books or 5, something like that. If you read any of these books, leave a comment about what you thought about them and whether or not you agree with me on whatever I said. I have absolutely no idea what I reviewed any of the other books. I'm not even really 100% sure what the other books in this video are. I'm shooting like 10 videos at the same time because I'm reading in whatever order I feel like. Do you have any book recommendations, like based off what I read in this video and what you think I might like? Please always send them. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.